Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Rita. I hope you all are doing well. So we are going to talk about the over 150 laws that Illinois is set to implement, 89 of them starting the beginning of the year. Now, some of you might be thinking, I don't live in Illinois. Why do I care? Well, the reason that we should all care is because this is the what we're looking at in California, in Illinois. This is the Democratic platform. These are the things that Democrats want to implement nationwide. This is why we should pay attention to these things. Okay, so we're going to go through, obviously not all 150. Hold on to your seats. If you live in Illinois, I hope you go on, I'll put the links below, but I hope you go on the website just to check out laws that are, like I said, set to start this year into next year. Non-citizen driver's license. Okay, individuals who are not citizens can get a standard driver's license to replace the current temporary visitor's driver's license. A standard driver's license. So that means that it won't be, from what I've read, it won't be the real ID one, but it will be similar in that it'll be a standard driver's license. It'll look like just a regular driver's license. The only difference is it'll have something at the top that will basically indicate, that it has limitations, right? I think federal limitations apply is what it's going to say somewhere on these driver's licenses. Okay, that's number one. And that is not even the worst. I mean, there are a lot of doozies in here, but yeah, let's move on to the next one that I want to cover. Police surveillance drones. So Illinois has decided it'd be a great idea to surveil its citizens at any events. It can pick and choose whatever event it wants, and events, parades, whatever, they will have surveillance drones. Supposedly, according to the document here, it says law enforcement will be allowed to monitor special events and parades with surveillance drones. The drones are prohibited from carrying weapons or facial recognition software. Yeah, we trust you. We believe you, government. Of course you won't have facial recognition software. Next, now some of you I'm sure already know, assault weapons ban registry is what they're calling it. It says gun owners must register banned weapons with the Illinois State Police by January 1st, 2024. After New Year's Eve, assault weapons owners failing to register face criminal charges ranging from a Class A misdemeanor for a first offense up to a Class 3 felony punishable by 5 to 10 years in prison. So if you do not register your firearm, you could become a felon overnight. All right, but my understanding is a lot of people are saying, kick rocks with this. A lot of people aren't registering. I think they have about 50,000 approximately people who have registered. And if you go to the list on Illinois and you list the assault weapons, it's basically everything you could possibly own. So they basically want you to register weapons. Now, why would they want you to do that? Well, obviously, because they want to flood Illinois, this whole country, actually. That's what every Democrat wants to do. Flood this place with illegals, let all the criminals out on the streets, disarm you, or put you on a registry so they can come and confiscate. I mean, obviously. Next, now this one is going to be fun. Non-citizen police applicants. Any individual who is not a citizen but legally authorized to work in the United States under federal law is authorized to become a police officer, subject to all requirements and limitations. I don't know what these requirements and limitations are, but I'm curious because I feel like it's not going to really be that much. I'm sure they will be able to carry firearms. For a long time now, they've been on this demoralization campaign of our police officers, and for the military, equally, they've been on a demoralization campaign, except they've been doing stuff like, posting, kink pics coming from the military and having ads about, I have 2 moms and 2 dads, and pushing the poke on everybody. So there has been a concerted effort by Democrats to purge the military and purge the police. Now, what is Dick Durbin saying and other Democrats are saying? Now they want to enlist some of these folks to lord over the citizens.
It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy. No more money from you.
Okay, so that's what's going on here. Now, let's move on. Parole for life sentences. There are some people who should be in jail for life, but in Illinois, anyone sentenced to life in prison while under the age of 21 after January 1st, 2024, who serves 40 or more years becomes eligible for parole. And we know by eligibility probably means they're just gonna let them out. They're just gonna start opening the prisons, just like a third world communist country. Just like what we hear is happening in places like Venezuela, allegedly opening their prisons and letting people out, and some of them are heading this way. Anyway, next, let's move on. Defunding libraries. So Illinois public or school libraries that remove books deemed controversial from their shelves or fail to issue a statement against banning books will no longer receive state funding. So all the libraries have to release a statement, which is, I guess, essentially a verbal contract, right? Saying that we promise we won't ban books. So that means that all of the, the graphic books that are in your kids' schools and that are in all of the public libraries will be permitted to be there in the kids section in the libraries. No problem there, I guess. Okay, renting and selling to migrants, because that's what we're calling them now. We're either calling them undocumented migrants, non-citizens, or just plain old migrants. But notice how they don't want us to call them illegal migrants anymore, even though that is what they are. But moving on, renting and selling to migrants. Landlords will be required to rent or sell property to non-citizen migrants. The law also adds immigration status as a protected class. What does that mean? That you cannot ask somebody if they are legal or not legal. They are a protected class, so you cannot discriminate if they are illegal. You can't say, I'm sorry, you're illegal, I can't rent to you. Multi-occupancy, gender-neutral restrooms to be installed in private and public businesses. So you must do this as a private and public business. Who's going to pay for this extra space if you don't have it? I don't know, but this is going into effect. Remember, this is not just for Chicago. This is for all of Illinois. All right. Grocery Initiative Act provides that the department shall establish a grocery initiative to expand access to healthy foods and food deserts in Illinois by providing assistance independently owned for-profit grocery stores, cooperative grocery stores, or not-for-profit grocery stores. Anytime the government starts funding things, they control it. So don't be fooled by the language here about, we're gonna work in partnership with, the government's gonna be funding it and running it. And this was the goal. I think this is the goal all along, as far as allowing crime to basically run amok in urban areas. And then when the businesses finally say, I can't afford to stay here, not only is it economically terrible for me, especially small businesses, but even large businesses. And not only is it economically terrible, but I'm afraid for my safety, the safety of my staff, I can't stay here, and they move out. Then all of a sudden they cry about food deserts and such. But what are they doing to combat that? You create a problem, allow crime to run rampant, and then you create a solution. Hey, we can just put in government funded grocery stores. How about that? Now, I bet you they won't let crime run afoot in there. Okay. Yeah, so that's the goal of all of this. And I'm going to put all the links below so you guys can look at all of the different laws that are set to or have started or set to start. The reason for this is, obviously, I'm always beating this drum. What they want is complete control of the population, and they will do it through laws. This is why a lot of people focus on federal, like the general election where you just vote for the president or whatever. But it's so important, local elections, because this is all being done within the state. Everything that's happening in California, same type of stuff, all being done within the state. So that is why I went over, and why looking at what's happening in Illinois and California and some of these other places, Boston, unfortunately, I love Boston. I think it is an amazing city. It's sad to see it go take this road, but this is where we are. And this is why I talk about these cities, because this is the Democrat plan for everywhere. Defunding police, replacing them with illegals. I'm sure they will be armed, and then they will be able it's just a big mess. It's a big mess. Some of you think it's so crazy, but this is how wicked people behave. They often do things in plain sight, because you can barely believe your lying eyes when you see these things taking place. And when you hear about them, it seems like a big conspiracy, but no, this is happening. I recommend going through the laws that Illinois is passing for this year and taking a gander and looking at what the platform is. And along with that, I would highly recommend doing a comparison, like go to the Republican website and then go to Democrat website, Democrat Socialist website, and see if you see any similarities and look at what they stand on. I would do comparisons, side-by-side comparisons of the Republican and Democrat policies, the things that they actually say they stand for, and start there. Illinoisans, brace yourselves. By the way, with the grocery store thing, it says not only are they going to put it in food deserts, they say, but wherever they deem necessary, they will put a government-funded grocery store. For those of you who live in, let's say, more affluent communities, or I won't even say affluent, maybe more middle to upper middle class suburbs, stuff like that, these stores are going to start popping up in your areas. And yeah, what do you guys think? Have you guys heard about this? Have you guys had a chance to read through any of this stuff? And is any of this stuff trying to be pushed where you are locally? Until next time, ciao. God bless.